Have you ever wondered why on earth chefs cook bacon in water? Yes, you heard me right. Cook bacon in water. I'm Gala, a food science student and a cook. In this video, you'll learn why some chefs use water for cooking bacon and whether it's truly worth it. For experimentation purposes, I cooked bacon in two ways. The first with water and the second without. Just bacon in a skillet. I'll start the heat and in the meantime, let's talk science. Generally, when we think of water, we imagine this. But we can also have this or this. The main difference between them, their temperature. You probably know that for water to turn into ice, you need to freeze it at least 0 degrees Celsius. And for water to turn into vapor, you need to heat it to at least 100 degrees Celsius. But there's something else we need to understand. Heat is energy. This energy can be used for two main things. To increase the temperature of a substance, to change the state in which the substance is present. So, when heat is applied to any substance, one of these two things is happening. For example, if we put water in a pot and start heating it, it will first increase in temperature up to 100 degrees Celsius. At this point, the heat is no longer used to increase the temperature, but rather to evaporate the water. That's why we can't heat liquid water beyond 100 degrees Celsius. Remember this fact. It's important for our case. Also, keep in mind that a change of state takes time. Placing a pot of water in a chamber at more than 100 degrees Celsius won't make it evaporate immediately. It needs time. This process requires a huge amount of energy. It's like when you wake up in the morning. Yes, the alarm woke you up, but you still need a ton of energy to actually get up. Of course, it's not just water that can change state. Take butter, for example. When it's in the fridge, it's solid. But when you spread it onto a hot piece of toast, it melts. There are many types of fat, some with more complex structures than others. Usually, the more complex, the longer it takes for them to melt, as the energy required for them to change state is higher. This is why, if you want to render fat from a piece of meat, you need patience for all that tallow to melt. Once it's melted, it can fry and crisp up the rest of the meat. Otherwise, you'd end up eating a steak with solid fat that hasn't melted yet. It's safe to say that we love bacon for its fat, right? But there's also protein in bacon. Saying you like crispy bacon is just another way of saying you like bacon that has undergone the Maillard reaction. The Maillard reaction is a combination of complex chemical reactions involving carbohydrates, proteins, and heat. At lower temperatures, like 50 degrees Celsius, it takes a lot of time for it to develop. But at around 140 degrees Celsius, it can happen in seconds. We love the Maillard reaction. It's responsible for the crust on meat, the smell of toasted bread, and, of course, the deep flavors of crispy bacon. The downside? If food stays at high temperatures for too long, it can form undesirable compounds that not only give a burnt taste and smell, but can also be bad for our health. We have many temperatures and many food compounds. Can you guess where this is going? Okay, so let's recap. Water can't get hotter than 100 degrees Celsius. At that point, it evaporates. A change of state takes time. The Maillard reaction develops quickly at 140 degrees Celsius and transforms proteins into toasty, crispy, yummy things. So, now we know that to get crispy bacon, we need the Maillard reaction to happen. But we also know that the fat in bacon needs to render first, and that takes time. That means cooking bacon at 140 degrees Celsius right away isn't a great option. The Maillard reaction will start before the fat has melted. If we wait for the fat to render, we might end up with burnt bacon. This is where water comes into play. If we add water to the pan, the heat will first be used to warm up the water. And once it reaches 100 degrees Celsius, the heat will then go into evaporating the water. Remember how I said water won't get hotter than that? That's the key reason chefs add water when cooking bacon. It takes time for water to reach 100 degrees Celsius, and even longer for it to evaporate completely. This extra time allows the fat to render at a safe temperature below 140 degrees Celsius before the Maillard reaction kicks in. Once the water evaporates, the fat is fully rendered, and the heat of the burner increases the skillet's temperature, allowing the Maillard reaction to do its magic. And there you have it. Crispy, delicious bacon. But you can achieve the same result without water. How? By simply cooking the bacon at low heat. The difference in cooking time is almost negligible, So why do some chefs use water? It's just an extra safeguard to ensure you don't hit high temperatures before the fat has melted. That's all. Don't share this video with anyone. If someone tells you you're cooking bacon wrong, just nod and laugh to yourself. Let's continue our quest for deliciousness.